All right, my friends, so here we're going to have Karen and Ken with 10 different scenarios. Count them, 10 scenarios on retirement planning and what the one shakes out the best. It'll be interesting to see. So this will be the 5th of our 5-part series. This will be the end of Ken and Karen, or Karen and Ken, and see how that shakes out for them. So if you like what you see, subscribe down below. Let me know in the show notes what kind of content you're looking at, because I'm always interested in hearing what people like for me to talk about. It's helpful. I got 8,000 million things to talk about my own, but if no one wants to hear it other than me, well, it doesn't do anyone any good. So let me know, and of course, comments and thumbs up and share the video. Notice anything? I'm way down here, now I'm way up here. Anything jump out at you? The Flying Elvis, number 6. 1, so you got 2 for the thumbs. My man Tom Brady. It was a horrible game last night. Brady looked like crap. I don't know what was going on. I tell you, Giselle must have had him on a leash or something like that, because he did not look good. Not hitting his passes. But at the end of the day, and as always, Belichick was horrible play calling, but at the end of the day, they pulled it out. I don't know what these guys do, if they sold their soul for rock and roll or something, but somehow the Pats just... It never ceases to amaze me. Probably the worst game I've ever seen the Pats play on offense, and yet they still won against a 13-3 Rams team. It wasn't like the Rams were slouches. But, all right, so let's go into this. So we got Karen and Ken. Excuse me. Remember, we have them both at 60. This is a real-world example, by the way. Karen is 67. I'm not sure how old Ken was, frankly, but we're still saying 67. They're 67 years old. They have about $47,000 a year of Social Security, which they're taking right now. They have $150,000 in a traditional IRA, does Karen have, and they have $13,300 on an annual pension. So the pension, I'm doing a 3% cost of living adjustment. I'm assuming it has a COLA. I don't know that for sure. Where Social Security, we're doing always 2.6% cost of living adjustment, because that's what Social Security trustees think it will be. All right, and then whatever the markets give us in terms of the $150,000 in the IRA, we're having investing in the total stock market. In the Vanguard Life Strategy Growth Fund. That's what it was. So 70-30 stocks to bonds. All right, so that's the scenario. In this case, I have them spending $52,000 a year, $4,000 a month discretionary, and $4,000 a year for property tax and homeowners insurance. So $52,000 the first year, adjusting that each year with a 3% inflation. So that's the scenario. $52,000 is what they're spending. Whatever they got coming in was they got coming in. Again, from a tax perspective, and on top of that, income perspective and their overall net worth perspective, that's what we're trying to gauge here. How much they have to pay in taxes, how much they get in income, and what is their overall net worth. And we're going to run 10 scenarios with both dying at 90. And then here, we're going to have Ken dying at 80, but Karen dying at 90. And it could be vice versa. It really doesn't matter. So I know it's kind of messed up here, but I'm going to explain it. So we have both dying at 90, and we'll start with here. Social Security now with no Roth. Social Security now with Roth now. Roth just means converting. Okay, they're converting, and the conversion amount is $20,000 a year. That's it. Social Security at 70, so we're going to suspend Social Security at 70, and we're never going to do Roth conversions. We're going to suspend Social Security to 70, and we're going to do Roth conversions now. We're going to suspend Social Security to 70, and we'll do Roth conversions at 70. So how do they make the income up while they're doing while they're suspending Social Security? They're taking out from that $150,000 traditional IRA. And those are the 5 scenarios at 90 years old. Then we're going to do the same 5 scenarios at when Ken dies at 80. So we run the different numbers. The total income, I circled the number 1 scenario for both places. The total income is Social Security at 70 and not doing any Roth conversions. In that case, they pay over the course of until Karen dies, or I guess both, $2.323 million in income. But that is also the highest in taxes, which kind of makes sense, right? Most income, most taxes. $120,000 in taxes, and their net worth when they died was $1.893 million. The net worth included, I think I had them with a $300,000 house, which is inflating at 2% a year. All right. So that's their highest income, that's the highest taxes, and the third highest net worth. I've labeled them in terms of net worth. All right, so if we want to look at from income, then delaying Social Security, suspending it until they're 70 and not doing any Roths, that makes sense. But with that higher income comes higher taxes. All right, so now if we want to do the least taxes would be right here, Social Security now and doing Roth. So what's the difference? Well, if we do Social Security now and we do Roth conversions, We have 1.993 million of income. We'll just say 2 million there. So basically, we have 30,000 roughly less of income, and we pay basically half as less in taxes. So we have 300 less in income, half of 60,000 less in taxes, and we end up with a net worth of $150,000 less. Okay, so net worth $150,000 less in this case. So some people say don't do that. The problem, of course, is what we're not showing here is that the net worth that they have here is all tax-free to the heirs, all of it. The net worth we have here is not all tax-free to the heirs. There will be some that's taxable because of IRA distributions will be taxable of what's called income in respect to decedent here. On how much is the IRA left over, I just simply don't know. I forgot. Probably should have done that. So between the two, Social Security now, with Roth now, you can see the difference there. That's the least amount of taxes. It's the second least amount of net worth and the least amount of income. So I'm not so sure about that. How is Social Security now with no Roth? So now this is kind of what they're doing. They have 2.245 million in income, the second highest in income and the second highest in taxes. But they have the lowest net worth. All right, Social Security now with no Roth, they have the lowest net worth they're leaving simply because they're paying so much more in taxes. But they are getting a lot more in income, so that's it. So basically what they're saying is, look, we have to take more and more distributions from the IRA, so we don't have nearly as much of a net. Well, it's not even nearly. I mean, that's like the difference between 1.7 and 1.23 here is not that big, but 1.7 and 1.92 is pretty significant. That's 220,000. All right, so let's look at Social Security now with 70 with Roth now. So in this case, we're going to wait. We're going to suspend Social Security until we're 70 years old, and we're going to start doing Roth conversions now. So basically what's happening is we're going to get the 20,000 from the Roth, but we're going to also have to take out more from the IRA to pay the bills. All right, so the first couple years, more is coming out from the IRA, 20,000 for the Roth conversion, and whatever the amount was for the bills. Here we got 2.189 million of income, which is the fourth highest, only $80,000 in taxes, which is the fourth highest, but that is the number one net worth. And that's interesting. So if you delay taking Social Security and you start your Roth conversion now, you have one of the least amount of taxes, you have the highest net worth, and you're still getting over $2 million of income. So that seems attractive to me, to be perfectly honest with you. Social Security now at 70 with Roth at now, that looks pretty good to me. Yeah, I mean, you're leaving a little bit of income on there, but the reason is because you're paying less taxes. So that's going to be a wash there, but you're making about 30,000 more of net worth. I like that a lot. I'm actually, if that's kind of the fan where I'm at right now. Social Security now with Roth now is another one I like too. The difference in net worth is $200,000, and we save a little bit of income tax there. It's just, and the reason is because you're making more in Social Security for a longer period of time. There's no getting around that. So right there, I like that a lot. Here's Social Security at 70 and Roth at 70. So here we're delaying doing Roth conversions, so we're not kind of doubling up on our taxes. Because if you're taking Social Security later, you got to get the money come from someplace, and the money's coming from your IRA. If we're adding a $20,000 tax burden to that for Roth conversions, it's going to make more taxes due. So Social Security at 70 with Roth at 70, you got more income than you do with Social Security at 70 with Roth now by $7,000, not much. You got $7,000 more in taxes too. All right, so you're paying a little bit more tax, a little bit more, and simply because you're taking more money out over when required distributions come in. It's basically a wash here, and you have 17,000 less. So that's kind of a wash between the two. That wasn't nearly as dramatic as I would have thought, actually. So of the 5 scenarios for Karen and Ken live until they're 90, I like the Roth one now. I do, and I'll show you why when we go down here in just a second. So the Roth one, you get the fourth amount of income, and again, we're talking about $150,000 less in income, but you're paying $50,000 less in tax, $40,000 less in taxes, but you have $40,000 more roughly in total net worth, of which is all transfer and tax free, where this one is not. So I like the Social Security at 70 with Roth now the best, but it's a crapshoot here. The worst one in my opinion is Social Security now with no Roth, just because net worth is lowest and taxes are second highest for sure. Social Security at 70 with no Roth is going to be better simply because you just make more money on Social Security. I mean, that's what it comes down to. All right. So remember, Social Security at 70 with no Roth. But now what happens if Ken dies at 80? This is where it gets kind of painful to behold. So now we have Social Security now, no Roth. Ken dies at 80, so inherently they're going to make less income. All these are going to make less income, and the reason for that is simple. Ken's dying at 80, which means Karen's going to lose his Social Security. That's all there is to it. So she's going to lose his amount of Social Security for 10 years. I mean, so whatever he was making, it will be gone. So now you got, and on top of that, she's still spending the same, $4,000 a month. So the same expenditures with the less of an income. Now she's still going to be fine financial planning, but if we do Social Security now, no Roth, she has a second amount of most income, just like before, the highest amount of taxes, actually it'd be significantly higher, and the lowest amount of net worth. All right, so we have the highest amount of taxes, lowest amount of net worth, and the second highest amount of income. Now, what if she does a Social Security now and does a Roth now? She has the lowest amount of income, the lowest amount of taxes, and the next lowest amount of net worth. So of the two, though, you'd have to say, do you want to leave $1.461 million tax-free to your kids? And a lot of that won't be tax-free for not doing a Roth because a lot of that will transfer, and some of that will transfer as an IRA. I don't know. I mean, do you want to leave more? I mean, it's basically a wash here. It's not a wash there, though. I mean, look, that's $70,000 more in taxes, but she is getting $250,000 more of income. So those two are a wash, in my opinion, for sure. But if we compare these two up here, watch this. Social Security now, no Roth. She had $118,000 of taxes, right? But here, she'd only have Social Security now with Roth, only $98,000 of taxes. I mean, so that's where the Roth can benefit because once Ken is gone, she'll be in a higher tax bracket for sure. So, I mean, you can see the benefit of the Roth without question. I mean, look at the difference in taxes here. I mean, between these two, I'd take the Social Security now with Roth now. So right now, she's just right here. Social Security now with no Roth. I mean, the difference between these two is enormous in terms of net worth, in terms of less taxes, in terms of a lot more income here. But the reason she has so much income because she's forced to take it out. All right. So Social Security at 70 and no Roth, that's the highest net worth, all right? The highest net worth, that makes sense because they're not paying more tax on the front end. It's the second highest in taxes, and it's the third highest in total, not net worth income, excuse me. Social Security now with no Roth is the highest in terms of income, the second highest in terms of taxes, and the third in terms of the overall net worth. And so $1.53 million in overall net worth, with $1.985 in income with $165,000 of total tax. Yeah, that I like that for sure. But look at this: Social Security at 70 with Roth now, $1.85 million. So the difference between the highest and the low in this one in terms of total income is $130,000, but $45,000 difference in taxes, and then you have more net worth on Social Security at 70 with Roth now. And then you see this one's basically in the middle of the road. You got Social Security at 70, Roth 70. Basically, it's a little bit more of a net worth of income than this one right here. A little bit more in taxes and just a little bit less in total net worth. So the Social Security 70 with Roth now is still my favorite strategy on both scenarios. The reason for that is because while they don't get quite the same amount of income, they can always generate income from a Roth if she needs to, which I don't think she will. She leaves more as a net worth in both scenarios. She leaves more as a net worth, and this does not include the fact that net worth is completely tax-free. All right, and she has one of the least amount of taxes on both scenarios as well. So for me, I like delaying Social Security, going to Social Security office. I don't want to take it right now. I want to delay it until I'm 70 or suspending it, and then start the Roth conversions now, even though that Roth conversion will be on top of the IRA distribution you're taking right now, simply because you're waiting to take Social Security later. Now, what if she didn't want to do that and she says, I don't want to suspend Social Security just in case something? I get that. Still, I would still say do a Roth as well, simply because, look, she'll have the least amount of income, the least amount of taxes, but she'll have more of a net worth than if she just does no Roth. I mean, just significantly higher taxes, significantly higher income. She doesn't do a Roth, but not significantly, but less of a net worth. And I'm just telling you, I would much rather have higher net worth and much lower taxes, because don't forget, if Karen does not, if she keeps living beyond 90, those taxes are going to get even more and more painful as we go. Does that kind of make sense? I hope so. So the scenarios, again, if you don't want to suspend Social Security, then start doing a Roth right now, without question. I don't have any problem with that. You look either of these scenarios. Ken lives until he's 90. Kevin lives until he's 80. You're going to pay the least amount of taxes for sure, a significantly least amount of taxes. You're not going to have I guess that is kind of significant. A couple $100,000 less of income. But that's mandatory income. That's forced. That's why you have so much more of income, is because they're forcing you out with required minimum distributions. In both scenarios, you have more net worth. So you have less forced income, less taxes, and higher net worth. Taking Social Security now and doing a Roth now is hands down the way to go. Taking Social Security at 70, suspending it until 70, and doing a Roth now is the second best strategy, in my opinion. At the end of the day, is either going to make or break it? No, but I am a fan of paying less tax. I just am, and you should be too. The less tax you pay, the more you can give away. Ooh, that's the less tax you pay, the more you can give away. The less tax you pay, the more you can give away. I like that. So there you go. That's the bucket. The 5 scenarios for Karen and Ken. Or the 10, I should say, 5 for each time frame. And this is the 5th video on this. I hope this helps. As always, like what you see here. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Thumbs up, comment questions, share the video, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks now.